Warren Buffett's right-hand man, Charlie Munger, is one of the greatest thinkers in the investment world. He is also an accomplished investor in his own right. Munger ran his own investment partnership and still manages his own investments along with those of the Daily Journal Corp. Investors who browse Munger's investment advice looking for tips on how to get rich quick will be disappointed. Much of the information and advice provided by the billionaire is based on the principle of sustainable enrichment. This can be seen in one of his most famous quotes about wealth creation: "The desire to get rich quick is quite dangerous." Munger is well aware that it takes time and effort to become rich. There are examples of investors and business owners who got rich very quickly, but these are rare examples. By concentrating on these factors, we are also overlooking another important problem: the survival bias. Survival bias. For every successful investor who makes headlines, there is at least one other investor who has crashed. In reality, the ratio can be much worse. Studies show that most investors lose to the market in the long run, and about 70% of day traders lose money in the long run. If we take the latter figure, that's about 3 out of 4 day traders who fail. This figure clearly shows that the odds are stacked against the average investor. That's fine, as long as we are aware of that fact. This is what Munger has tried to convey so many times, admittedly not in so many words. The odds are stacked against us as investors, and we have to act carefully if we want to be successful in the long run. How do we do that? Well, there's no clear answer. If it were, it would be easy. However, reading Munger and Buffett lectures, interview transcripts, and letters to investors provides a framework. This structure won't guarantee success, but it will help avoid the biggest setbacks. Building the framework. For starters, both of these billionaires believe it is important to avoid high-risk investments at all costs. This means avoiding businesses that have a high chance of failure. It also means avoiding any companies that are difficult to understand or outside your circle of expertise. Following these guidelines should help any investor avoid significant losses from troubled companies or fraud. Another tip is not to overpay companies. This is quite difficult to determine because there is no set framework for determining the correct value of a company. Having said that, if you don't understand how to value a business, it's a pretty clear sign that it's not in your circle of trust, and so it's probably best to avoid the firm. Finally, investors should not rush to get rich. This may seem counterintuitive, but it makes a lot of sense. Investors who rush to get rich can take unnecessary risks, which may involve borrowing a lot of money, buying stocks they don't understand, or investing in opportunities that seem too good to be true. All of these actions can lead to significant losses. So, the idea and principle of take your time is a kind of lying policeman that can help make sure that you don't rush into things you don't understand or take too much risk. It's a very simple and straightforward way to try to eliminate mistakes. By following this advice from Munger, along with the other 2 points above, an investor of any experience can improve their process. Fish where the fish are. For the most part, fishermen cast their nets in an area of the ocean where fish are plentiful because circumstances are favorable there. So maintaining a consistent presence in the international seas and securing fishing rights in unexplored areas is critical to the fishing industry. When Charlie Munger was asked at one of Berkshire Hathaway's legendary meetings about his advice on how to succeed, he famously said, "Catch the fish where the fish is." What he meant was that if a fisherman wants to catch a lot of fish, he should fish where the fish are plentiful. The very presence of fish in the water is even more important than the experience of the fisherman. This metaphor can be used in the real world by anyone seeking success. As an example, there are 2 fictional people, Tom and Peter. Tom and Peter are so smart that they earned 2 degrees from Cambridge in just 4 years, while maintaining excellent grade point averages. Let's also assume that they are incredibly dedicated to their careers and are willing to work 80 hours a week to get where they want to go. I'm wondering, what do you desire even more than that? The safety of the known or the thrill of the first 100,000? Turn that 100,000. You must want it. I truly, really want it. You need to desire it so badly that you're prepared to upend your whole life and alter your routine. Comfort may be found in the well-worn path. This ease, though, is the main thing holding you back. Besides, the only thing that stays the same is change. Just give in to it. Get comfortable with it. You will have to alter your lifestyle to do this drastically. You need to start saving and investing at least half of your income rather than consuming all of it. Not only that, but you'll need to develop a fetish for stocks, just as many other individuals do for other forms of tangible wealth. In other words, investors should consider the stock market the most fantastic shop and equities as the best product. Rather than spending time and money on shopping for and learning about new consumer products, people will shift their focus to learning about and investing in stocks. Once you have saved at least 6 figures, though, you may reinvest the profits from your acquired assets. The sum of your account balance will consist of more than simply your own money. You won't need to save as much to reach your next 100,000, since the money you've already invested will create wealth without any more help from you. It's okay to take your foot off the gas once you've made your first 100,000. As pointed out by Charlie Munger. That's because the power of compounding may begin to work. If you invest $100,000 in the market and earn an average of 10% annually for 20 years, your initial investment will have grown to roughly $675,000. You might get your feet wet while you're young. Make your first 100,000, and then put your life on autopilot. Indeed, the initial 100,000 are the most crucial to create a compounding snowball. One must first gather snow or initial investment and make the first effort to pile it up. Shape it into anything, then roll it down a hill. But the more significant and quicker the snowball begins moving, the less work you will need to put into it individually. After a certain point, further effort is unnecessary. The monster will continue to expand and gain momentum on its own well beyond anything your strength could manage. Because of this practice, achieving financial prosperity will be very difficult, if not impossible. The debt trap has now been set. Diversification is great. Up to a point, the concept of excessive diversity is foolishness. Is another insightful statement from Munger that may be applied to the current market downturn. One of the finest methods to lessen the bump on the road of investing is via diversification. To diversify one's assets is to place one's money in several different investments. As time progresses, the returns on various investments kinds vary. The value of certain things may be increasing, while the value of others is falling or staying the same. As a result, diversity may cushion your earnings. Diversification is a complicated concept that not everyone quickly grasps. This is a good idea everywhere. Believe me, I know how crucial this is for your financial well-being. However, there is a risk associated with having too many different components as your stock holdings grow. It gets harder to monitor them all. You limit your potential gain and finally reach market average returns. Low-cost index funds are preferable to stock selection. If your risk tolerance is high enough that you require hundreds of stocks in your portfolio to feel secure, diversifying your holdings is still one of the most important aspects of long-term investment. Nevertheless, Munger is cautioning investors about potential cost of relying on over-diversification as a crutch. You shouldn't acquire a lot of stocks if you don't plan to learn about the company you're invested in. When used together, these guiding principles have the potential to give your wall an incredible boost. Thanks to everyone who was here. Watching my videos, you become financially literate and get closer to wealth. Subscribe to the channel, share with your family and friends. Success to all, and have a good investment.